Hello and welcome to session 34 in the Kingdom of Agick. I am Gregory. This is 1 in 20 D&D. Tonight we are playing another wonderful session, and this is an adaptation of the Princes of the Apocalypse, a 5e Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So last time our intrepid band of adventurers found themselves deeper into the second level of I guess we can call it a dungeon crawl at this point. You're in an old dwarven city mine something. This is a dwarven mine, essentially, is what this was called. And it's below an old temple that was being used by the cult of the Black Earth, you have come to find out. Headed by Marlos Ernrail, who is apparently, as far as you can tell, a Medusa, a male Medusa. You sort of scared him off in an earlier bit of combat and have been slicing and dicing your way through his minions and underlings, having recently freed the gnome Rook, who you have renamed Glitter. The party has nicknamed her Glitter. And she gave you a little bit of information, not a whole lot, but she did mention that below this mine that you're in currently, there is another lower level that is an old drow temple. And she mentioned there being some kind of an elemental node that she believes the elementalists are drawing their powers from. You've noticed that all these people seem to be that there is a theme going with stone and rock. Their weapons, their armor, their clothing even has this kind of tone of being formed of or intended to look like stones and rocks. And you haven't seen a whole lot of their magic. So what you have seen, what little bit you have seen, also seems to sort of take on those powers of the earth. You freed Rook. She was in a chamber with an obelisk and sort of a ruined, essentially looked like a small shrine that the cultists were apparently trying to reform and bring back to some kind of power. And the prisoner that you had gotten, which was one of these cultists, he mentioned the name, or he referred to our Lord Ogremock, and he also referred to the Earth Prophet, who you've kind of put together. The Earth Prophet you believe to be Marlos Ernrail, the Medusa, but you have no idea who this other character he has mentioned is. However, seems to be sort of above in some way Marlos, and he mentioned them with a sort of like self-righteous reverence, almost as you would a deity, but he never said that directly, so it's kind of unclear who the heck this Lord Ogremock might be. And Rook had nothing, or Glitter had no information about that. She doesn't really know much about this level, but she is grateful to you for freeing her and has agreed to tag along until the right moment for her to go her merry way. You followed two noises down here into the room you're currently in. The first being the ringing of what appears to be a hammer on some kind of metal and an anvil. And that is in the room where you can see the door to the north here. Or appears to be coming from a room behind the door to the north, I should say. There is another door in the corridor you just came down to the east side of that corridor, and those two doors seem to be leading into the same room because you hear the ringing sort of coming from that same place. However, you heard some disturbing noises from this door to the south that Bossalon is currently standing right next to, and decided that was a higher priority. So currently we have Bossalon, our human fighter, being played by Brett. We have Kaylin, our human bard, being played by Colin. And Kyra, our drow druid, being played by Michelle. Reed and Tyler are not with us tonight, so Farron and Grot, respectively, will be NPC'd for the evening. That is the rundown. So let's have at it. You haven't heard a sound from the door for several minutes, probably. At least a handful of minutes. But the last sound you did hear was sort of like you heard an oof, as if someone got like maybe punched in the gut, and then a short few minutes after that, or even moments maybe after that, there was like sort of the sound of like maybe someone slamming their hand on a desk. And since then, it's been somewhat quiet from that room. This room features a water well or trough, or I'm not exactly sure what you want to call it, but it's got a basin of water in it. And one thing I didn't say earlier is that there's probably some evidence that this is where they are getting their water from, because you probably see there might be like a bucket or something like that sitting on the side of this. So it's a fairly good guess. The water appears to be clear, and it's possible that this is where everyone that's residing here is coming to get their fresh water. So, what do you guys want to do?
Don't anybody jump at once.
I was muted for a second because I was crunching, all important. I didn't have Doritos, so I just switched to Cheez-Its today, and they just don't go down as fast. So I'm ready to go through a door. Something was screaming, something needs thumping.
I want to ask a question. It occurred to me during the week, and we didn't touch base on it at the end of the session, or after you guys had taken the long rest. You had been wearing the robes of the cultists. Is that currently still the case? Are you still trying to pass yourselves off, or have you just resigned yourself to the fact, like, they know we're here, so screw it, let's just do our thing?
I mean, I thought by this point, shit, if these robes aren't torn to crap, with Kaylin at least, there's no way. Because Greg, remember, that black pudding, he probably, the acid from probably shredded those robes apart. Kaylin's in his normal clothes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I have my little magical armor on.
Yep.
My robes are probably okay, because I really haven't gotten hit at all, but, when in Rome, so I'd probably take mine off too.
Yes, when in Rome.
Yeah, but Bossalon doesn't like his peripheral vision being covered by the hood, and obviously he and his helmet don't blend in, so he's pretty much stored it for ass wipe later.
All right.
Brags.
All right, so Kyra, you were sort of scouting off to the east just a little bit to see if this, where this sort of wall that has collapsed might have been leading.
Right. Yeah, and I was just gonna, as basically as everybody is waiting for Bossalon, or I should say, well, Bossalon's waiting for everybody else to catch up to him. I'm kind of running around down here.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, that's perfect.
I would say I'd look around the corner before I step over.
That makes sense. You peek in there, and it just seems like it's some weird cavity. The walls have seemed to like fall away, and for some reason, there's just there's just an empty space. There's nothing or no one in it at the moment. It seems.
Then I will go back and tell them what I saw, like around the upper corner and down into the little fissure area.
Okay.
Cavern.
Perfect. So I'm going to say Gitgrot and Farron are going to sort of hang back and quote-unquote protect Glitter for the moment.
Oh.
I am ready when you guys are to open this door. Everyone in position?
Yeah. Sure. I know we're doing that for like purposes because you're not here. Because that's probably not what.
I mean, if you need their help, they'll come up, but you know, that's...
I'm pretty sure it's probably not what they would do. But yeah, I understand completely.
It just...
They're not here. It makes it easier.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to save a little time and give you three the, main stage for today. So, yeah. But I mean, definitely if we need to, we'll bring them in to sort of help things out.
Wait for Galen, probably.
Is the door locked? Can I tell?
Is it trapped?
Give me an investigation check.
I am loading.
Sure.
Investigation. Unskilled and intelligent based. Not my strong point.
I don't think I have investigation.
Yeah, you are... It sort of looks like all the other doors. I'll say this though, even without that, I mean, you recall that the only way that some of these doors could be locked was with like a latch or a hasp on the inside. So there's really not... I mean, it's difficult to say without giving it a shove.
I mean, my investigation check pretty much shows there's no anvil hanging by a chain a la Roadrunner above me. I'm like, okay, it doesn't look like the door's trapped. Ready to go in.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm standing literally right next to him. So if I see him like looking around, I don't know. Kyra might be like, yeah, sure, that's fine. As long as you were like, hey, it's great.
Is Kalen going to hang that far back? Or does he want to sort of back up the other two?
He'll move right there.
Because,
all right.
Yeah, Baron's the one that's got all that
He'll move there.
like stuff.
Yeah. All right. How would you like to proceed?
I don't want to get shot in the face.
Everyone in position? I've got my shield up and my short sword out, and I pretty much tell people I am not looking to negotiate. I'm going to open the store, and anything that doesn't immediately throw its weapons down and surrender is going to get stuck. Any objections?
Makes sense to me.
Okay, I am going to open the door and charge in. Well, depending on what I see. I'm going to open the door. Let's start with that.
All right. So you give the door a shove, and it does push in fairly easily. I'm just gonna...
I like when I can push it fairly easily.
Yeah. Let me see. How do I want to do this? I'm gonna give you bits and pieces here because you can't quite see the whole room when you open it. So we'll give you this much. And then I need to do one little element because there are 2 torches on the wall in this room. And so they do shed some light. As soon as you open the door, you're met with a torchlight. And I have something to read. So let's see. When you open this door... I'm just gonna give you the whole room. It'll make it a little easier. You can sort of poke your head in and see if... Anyway, so here, let's just do this. Okay. So... like so. Alright, so... in this room, a wooden torture rack stands in the middle of this room. Manacles hang from the walls, and fiendish hooks, blades, and clamps hang on the back wall. 4 cramped iron cages stand in the room's western alcove. occupied by gaunt, dirty humans with blank gazes. In the room's eastern alcove stand 2 double bunks and an iron stove. You notice that there is a gentleman sitting in a chair, essentially, or a stool or something, right next to the the torture table, I guess. And he, as soon as you open the door, he says to you, "Ah, good. You have captured the intruders and brought them to me for questioning. Which one shall we question first? Who is to be questioned?" And then he kind of looks over to you and sees you're not who he expected. And his visage changes to one of... he was pleased as punch when he first heard you enter, but then now he looks irritated, bordering on aggravated. Yeah, he says. And he just kind of is glaring at you. He says, "Oh,
This is the blue guy?
no. It's this dude right here. He was sitting in a chair. He's sort of sitting in a chair, or like I said, on a stool or something, bench, a little,
Okay.
next to the torture table, very at ease, and again, like I said, pleased with himself. He is essentially, well, in game terms, he's a stone melder, which you encountered another stone melder, which was that was the gal that came out of the mess hall and chased you guys around and tried to escape through the wall. So he looks similar to her, similarly garbed in this sort of weird version of like splint mail that they wear, the stone-like splint mail.
Yeah, but poor circus performer.
So he's kind of glaring at you, and
we just on the side of the road.
he says, he looks at you and says, "Oh, very well. It looks like we will have to capture you ourselves."
Yeah. Well, while he's saying this, I'm already moving towards the red guy and getting ready to, dice him with my sword.
All right, so let's just go for initiative then. We'll see who acts first. Let me clear this and we'll start fresh. All right, there you go. Go ahead and click on your characters.
Why did my initiative not go through?
You gotta click on your piece.
Yeah, click on your token and
that
then...
would be why.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
I think if you click on your character, that by default is... So, obviously, I was prepared to act.
Nice! First crit. Nice roll. Hey, you know what would be great? I know I'm kind of a bunk about this, but I just realized, recently that since we're not actually sitting at a table and we see the rolls, we don't announce the rolls anymore. But I would love it if you guys did that. Like Michelle, I know, because she usually rolls her own dice, so she's, frequently tells us, but just call it out when you roll it. Or I will, but that would be great. So 16 for Kaylin and 25 for Bossalon. That's amazing.
That's what I said. I'm twitchy. I opened the door and was just
You're
to stick the first thing that twitched.
Yeah, you're practically stabbing him before he even gets the last word out of his mouth.
Hey, Gregory, can you put me on the thing? I should have rolled up there, but I didn't. I rolled by hand.
Yeah,
so
you're
I'll
good.
take my crummy,
There you go.
crummy roll.
It's all right. You're fine.
It's all good.
What did you end up with?
I think I have a +4 to my initiative. I don't know. +3. Okay. A 9!
9 it is.
It's beautiful.
Sometimes it's best to go last. Alright, so Boslan leading us off with your stellar roll. So you push the door open, he gets off a few words, and you realize you do a quick sort of a quick assessment of the room and get a sense of who's where and what the threats are, and then you just burst into action. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm just gonna step in, sort of keep my back to the wall, and then attack this guy in front of me.
Okay, very good. Let's see some rolls.
Okay, what do I have here? So just standard attack with the short sword.
All right, so first attack is a 17, and that is enough to cut him to the ground. So I will let you hold that second attack.
Oh.
These guys are squishy, and they're not wearing any armor, and they just, you've noticed already, these guys are not fighters. They're just fanatics. So, so you walk up to him and just with your first slice, again, mincemeat. You still have another. What can I say? You have another 10 feet of movement.
Okay, I will then scoot this way. I take it that's like a torch in the wall or something next to me.
Right, that's a wall sconce. Yeah, exactly. You can duck under that without trouble. So you can move another 5 feet if you want.
Oh, that's right. Those are 5-foot squares. So I'm sort of keeping my shield towards, the dude in the chair, but getting ready to move and like slice this other guy while he's over fucking with the prisoners.
Excellent.
And of course, making room for the other people to come in.
Right on. All right, the cultists are quick to act. They were sort of on the ready. Actually, you get a sense they were almost guarding the door in some weird way, trying to be prepared, but they're not prepared for you guys. So to make this easy, I'm going to say blue just jumps forward to try to swing at you, and green is going to essentially do the same towards Kalen. In fact, he's very bold. He decides he's going to try to block the door. So, not knowing how futile that will be.
Very bold indeed.
So, all right. So the first guy jumps out, swings his scimitar at Boslan with a horrible miss. He totally mistimes it, and he sees you moving along the wall, steps forward, and takes a swing before you even come to a stop, and he whiffs horribly. The green dot is similarly going to swing at Kalen, and his attack is actually possibly successful. Does a 21 hit Kalen?
It does.
All right, so he has a better advantage because you're sort of in the doorway. So he has he managed to slide his scimitar along the wall somehow and slices your arm, which you're like, you piece of, what the heck kind of attack is that? He only does 2 slashing damage. It's just like, it's like a cut along the top of your bicep or the side of your bicep. You're like, what kind of a move is that, or something? Or I would imagine you would be thinking something like that, I should say. So he slices your bicep. That's all he can do, and it's a measly 2 points of damage. And it is your turn to retaliate, Kalen.
How dare he! I immediately... Well, I'm hoping I can take him down with this one attack right here. And...
miraculously, you stick him... Or let's say, so longsword is slashing. So you slice across his chest, and it's a horrid wound. He like half doubles over in pain, but somehow he's still on his feet.
Oh, dang it. All right, well then...
And with the follow through of your offhand, you just slice across his throat and nearly decapitate him, dropping him to the floor.
So then, would I still be able to move and attack this other guy, this dude over here?
You can certainly move. You do technically have another attack. Sure, yeah, I'll let you do that. Why not?
Cool. All right.
It's how far? 15? Yeah, so 5, 10 to get over the body. 15, 20, 20. Yeah, you can easily get over there. No problem.
Let's see.
One more attack. Oh, yeah. You kind of catch him before he can even get out of his chair. You see he's about to stand up, and you just like slice right across his shoulder. He seems pretty tough. You know, it definitely draws some blood, but he doesn't. He kind of shrugs it off a little bit. You know.
Damn.
He's more frustrated and angry than wounded. So he then in turn glares at you and says, "So I will have to deal with you myself," and he is going to. I think the first thing he's gonna do is that. Just a moment. Looking up something. I can't believe it does that stuff.
This
Yes.
was a room where all of the beating or sounds of hurting people.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you. That's what you gather. I mean, it's totally obviously a torture chamber. So,
Okay.
You're pretty certain this is where it was coming from. So, all right. So he.
They torture their own guy.
He is going to he's going to do something defensive first. He does stand up because he's not going to be caught sitting on his rear. Sort of steps to the side just a touch, and then he you see he mumbles some words, makes a few symbols, and the skin that you can see appears to turn almost identical to his armor and appears to take on the appearance of stone. Appears to take on the appearance. That's a great way to say it. Appears to gain the visage of stone. He looks like he just cast stone. Yeah, he got stoned. He cast stone skin on himself, and that is what is going to happen. Oh my goodness, that's what I missed that. How about that? So, yeah, that's what he does. And Kyra, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I say, didn't I say something about just being like humble and poor and never mind. I turn around to Farron. I'm like, hey, looks like this is the torture area as I'm walking forward. And I go, oh, hey, can you come open these gates or cells or whatever? And then I just keep walking. So it'll be 5, 10, it's 15, it's 20, 25, 30. And I just kind of look at him and say, hey, do you want to just go ahead and surrender? Because we're probably going to kill you. I say that while I'm shocking him with something.
Yeah. By the way, remind Basalon in the future to have a talk with Kyra about negotiation tactics.
Yeah, that's her thing. That's
you want to surrender so we can kill you easier is sort of how that came off.
Yeah, yeah, but that's exactly what she says.
Got it.
She's like,
Charisma.
yeah. So, I'm just gonna try to frostbite him, I guess.
All right. Very good.
If it doesn't work, it's okay. Just trying to see if he can miss on its next attack.
And he will make a Constitution saving throw. And he actually succeeds.
But he does.
So
So he takes
he takes
nothing.
nothing.
and everybody looks like they're okay. So I just say, well, yeah, about that surrendering. Yeah,
He looks over in your direction and says, he laughs. He just, I will never surrender to the likes of you.
I tried, guys, and that's all I'm gonna do.
All right. So, next he is going to... Oh, no, next is Bossalon again. Sorry, we're back to the top. What am I thinking?
Cool.
Yep.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Okay, what I'm going to do is move down here so I can attack both folks.
Sure.
So I'm going to strike
yeah, that
first
works.
at blue.
Put him out
And
of
I got
our
two
misery.
attacks. And then also, if I reduce someone to 0 hit points
Right,
or kill them, I get the additional attack.
We're good. Oh!
Doesn't that look like a flub, right?
So, only because it's in combat, that even if it... Well, yeah. You don't hit him. Your
No.
wrists, like, you're trying to cut him and do some tricky move, but it, like, for some reason, it just didn't work the way you thought it would, and it kind of passes harmlessly through his robes.
I managed to stab his, like, one amulet or belt buckle or something. Do I lose second attacks or not?
Oh, no, you still get your second attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one just cuts him in twain and takes him to... Well, it pokes through his throat, let's say, and puts him down to the ground. So your first one was possibly a feint, or you used it as a feint. It was a horrible miss, but you used it as a feint, and use the second use your follow-up strike to pierce him through the throat, and that will give you your second or your extra attack.
Yeah, so I get a bonus action attack
Right.
on a critical hit, or if I reduce him to 0 hit
Right,
points.
exactly.
And that's right, because on a 19 or 20, I do a critical. So is that highlighted?
Right. It will be. Yeah, you rolled a 15 on that. 24.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to attack the stoner.
Yeah.
It'll look green.
Yeah, you'll see a green box around it if you critical hit.
Boy, I'm rolling a lot of shit dice here.
Well, 21 is enough to damage him, and he takes a poor your minimum damage, which is not quite. Yes, it is your minimum. Sorry.
Yeah, I nick him.
9 piercing. So you poke him through the side, but it doesn't. It only goes through like some of the skin and muscle. It doesn't actually puncture anything vital. And actually, you have magic, so he takes all of it. You know that. Well, no. We'll see. So your blade goes right through this apparent armor that he made his skin into stone. You don't even notice it; just pushes right through. All right, so that is going to be it for Bossalon. Do you want to move? You still have. Let's see. You moved 5, 10. You could still move 20. You could swing around him and.
Ooh, good flanking.
Yeah, that's right. You do all sorts of stuff. I will probably. Honestly, I'm not gonna like work the game and get the opposite side. I'm just gonna move probably to his flank a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe next round I move behind him a little bit, depending on what he does.
And
I'm more aiming to block his retreat.
Fair.
Than like dance around sideways, which I always thought was bizarre in this game.
Fair. Perfect. All right. So the cultists are all dead. So Kaylin, you're up.
Okay. I'm just going to move down here. And I'm just going to do my kind of flurry of attacks.
At this point, you hear, while Kaylin is taking his moves and cutting into this guy, most likely, you hear the people in the cells start to make a ruckus. In fact, They were sort of didn't know what to think when you first came in, but now some of them start piping up. You hear a female say, "Yeah, kill him. I never liked him anyway." And then there's another male that seems to be let me out so I may have my vengeance. There's two others that are starting to just like just or whatever. They're just starting to make a ruckus. So you're gonna make a couple attacks. All right, that is a hit.
Do you want me to do my 2 main attacks and then the offhand, Greg, or should I do my?
Doesn't matter either way. I mean, technically the offhand is a bonus,
Yeah.
so it probably makes more sense to do your 2 standard attacks, and then if you want to use your bonus, then you can do that. So, all right, so you can use all 3. All right, that is 3 hits for a total of 23 damage. However, it doesn't seem like it does quite as much as you would think. So his stone skin apparently seems to be helping him. He takes a total of 11 damage from your attacks. All right, so he's like, you slash him a few times. And did you want to move anymore, or are you good where you're at?
If I move down to here, does that give him an attack of opportunity?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going right there.
All right, very good. All right, he is up and getting angry, so he is going to do some magics. Kalen, you notice instantly that he starts. Well, you might not know exactly what he's doing because he's a sorcerer, I think, so, or essentially is a sorcerer. So, or his spells seem to be closer to Farron's than yours in the way he casts them, because you use your music and your intonations a little differently. But you do notice the effect of it. Essentially, he's putting a shatter spell against this wall behind the two of you and blasting both of you with a shatter spell. So I need you guys to both roll some saving throws, and to the tune of, what's that, dexterity, right? Or is it constitution? Constitution. So Baslan and Kalen, constitution saving throw, please.
14.
All right, 14. And for Baslan,
I'm looking. Hold on. I was like keep closing my thing by accident. And where the hell the saving throws? Constitution save?
yes, please.
You might be aware or
20.
not, but if you double click at the name of it, it'll just make it to where you can see through it. And it'll be tiny.
Yeah, you don't have to close and open.
So you don't have to close it in order to see your screen.
Well, I keep setting a separate one and forgetting it, but okay, I'll try.
You have to have it in. If you use the popped out window, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it won't work if you have it popped out, though.
But it is
Yeah,
quicker and easier. Like
I got the pop out.
Michelle saying,
Okay.
if you take it
Okay.
out of pop out,
Yeah, that makes sense.
For it that way, go for it. All right, so you both succeed. However, you do take some thunder
Damage.
damage.
What did
and
he cast at us?
he is going to cast. He cast a shatter spell. You've seen
Is that
Kalen
French?
use this. It essentially blasts some stones off of the wall behind you. You hear a deafening crack of thunder, and or just a crack, like. And
I thought it was like a magical kick to the balls or something.
You could think of it that way, but that's not what happens. So stones come flying at the back of your neck, and the back of your calves and thighs and such.
So he attacks a different sort of stones.
Yes, exactly.
You can think of it that way, but...
And so this is going to be some D8s.
How much damage?
I will tell you in a moment. Well, you'll see when I roll, I should say. So y'all take 6 thunder damage. Not as effective as he had hoped. And Then I think that's all he's gonna do for this turn. Ugh, okay, I'm not using this stupid roller anymore. I freaking hate it.
That's why we like it when you use it.
Kyra, you are up. What would you like to do?
I say, you're not surrendering, and that's kind of what you probably should have done. But all right, so I'm going to produce flame, I guess. I feel like I don't even want to waste any decent spells on this guy.
All right. Make an attack roll.
That is plus loud children. 23. 16 plus 7. 23. I can't hear you, Gregory. Are you muted?
Yes, I was. That is gonna hit. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, so you hit.
Okay, so then yeah, that is not produce flame stuff. One, two. D8s are just vacant. Oh, here we go. I couldn't find them. It's like I find every other dice, but the D8s. Oh, I rolled pretty good. 12 fire damage.
All right, you singe the side of his face, and he curses and cries a little. Well, he doesn't cry, but he, like, ah!
And remembering, or I can't say remembering, but I'll go back this way just to kind of cover the door. Just in case.
All right, very good. Back to the top of the order, Baslan.
Or killing. I'm just going to keep striking.
Okay.
Let's see. So we're still working on this guy. Okay. So. Oh, baby.
Whoa,
Would I
boy.
have been able to say something right at the end of my turn? I apologize.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I would just say, hey, do we want to try to maybe keep him alive for questioning, or are we just gonna just kill him since he's not cooperating?
The people in the cell are like, kill him! Kill him
Yeah,
or let
yeah,
me
yeah.
out so I can kill him!
Yeah.
Well, those seem like
Not
pretty
really
good
asking your
rolls.
opinion.
So do you see the first one is green, and if you mouse over it, it shows you a 19. So yeah, it's set right.
Yeah. So I rolled an 18 and a 19 and did a combined 29 damage. So if we need to question him, you better have a speak with dead.
You can do non-lethal damage.
That's what you think.
You have a choice.
He is not dead. He's still standing. He's grievously wounded by those two, both of them taking him in the stomach, and definitely you can see he's close to falling over, but he is not. He's still on his feet.
Since you crit, does that mean you get that extra one?
Do you get an extra attack when you crit?
Is that what you said?
That's right. I do get an extra attack when I crit.
Okay. I thought that's what you said.
Yeah, I generally just can keep making attacks for one reason or another. So
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's what I was like,
There we go.
he's gonna die.
Now, do I get one attack for every crit that as long as I keep rolling a 19 or a 20, I can pretty much like just carve right through?
No, unfortunately.
Don't
You
work
When you
that
score a
way.
critical hit,
said bonus,
Only
right?
once. Yeah, it's one bonus per round.
okay, yeah, you can make one melee weapon attack as a bonus action. Okay, well, I'll count that. So that's like a bowling strike. That wasn't even a spare. That's 2 strikes in a row.
That's
So
pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. And
Of course, except I rolled minimum damage both times the actual weapon strike.
right.
So I'm like, eek, dink, and like pierce one ear, and then I'm like, eek, dink, and pierce the second ear.
All right. Well, in Critical Role terms, we say, "How do you want to do this?" Which means, do you want to describe how you kill him?
Oh, normally what I figure my character is he's sort of I wouldn't use the term artist. He's just very efficient. So, generally what I will try to do is for him probably a critical hit would be like a thrust that like just goes right between the jugular artery and the carotid artery, jugular vein carotid artery. For him it's not like this huge slice his throat or cut his head off or like the intense, I ram the sword up to his hilt and his solar plexus. He's more of like, dive in, just that perfect nick right along the side of his neck that just lets this jet of blood out, originally collapses.
Clean and efficient.
Yeah, pretty much. So not some big hue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dive in there and So pretty much probably what I did is the first time I hit right, but just didn't quite penetrate that far to like really get the blood. And the second time I like, got a second hit in there or filleted him a little bit better. So, yeah, that's probably me. So he normally aims for like wrists, necks, femoral arteries, stuff like that. Not just the like hack for the. He's a surgeon with the short sword. Because he found as a gladiator, he doesn't get tired out if he's trying to like just hack. He's like, okay, I may be fighting for a while, so we're gonna try to be efficient. He's much more precise with how he strikes.
Make a show of it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So with that, he goes down, gouts of blood squirting out, barely landing on Kaelin, who dexterously dodges to the side as blood just squirts and splatters into a puddle on the floor. The four in the cage, or actually I should say 3 of the 4 in the cage are just like hooting, hollering, and cheering, and all trying to talk at once. It's hard to make out what they say, and I just apologize because I totally forgot to add combat music for any of that. Whoops.
I walk up to this cage right here and like, what did you do?
I wasn't thinking.
Because, like, aren't you with these guys?
So it's not apparent. I apologize that you that she's not wearing her stuff, so she just looks like a regular human.
Okay. Because I'd be like,
so,
what did you do?
Sorry. So so we'll say that you hear the female. There's so let me give you a quick description. So in front of you, Kyra, you see a human female, and the next one down appears to be a human. He looks. Actually, give me a perception check, please. I would say
or just her.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say Kaelin and Kyra, because
well, I rolled badly.
No, yeah, all 3 of you. That's fine, all 3 of you. It'll just you might pick up different stuff. That's all. All right, so 16 for Kaelin. How about Bossalon and Kyra?
Oh, so I am perceptioning.
Yes,
I thought it was just
my mistake.
Yeah, I thought I was just busy admiring the blood geyser as this
Right.
dude crashes.
That's a 9 for me.
22. All right. So Kyra, what you do key in on is that
she's a female.
There's a female, a female dwarf in one of the other cells. You hear her say, "Don't trust Orna. She's a Black Earth guard. You don't want to trust. She'll just lie to you. She's one of them." So they're all like kind of cursing each other and trying to talk at once, but that catches your ear. Okay, so that's what Kyra catches. Kaelin, you see that the dude in the second cell, he's wearing he looks like he's not even awake. He looks like he's barely awake, if at all. He looks like he's catatonic, basically. his eyes are kind of, he's awake, or he's breathing clearly, but his eyes are almost like rolled back into his head. As I mentioned, the third cell down is a dwarven female, and there is a half elf down on the very lowest cell here, the south. He looks the worst injured of all of them, aside from the human male, who looks like he isn't even, he's gone to the world, so to speak. But he gives you the impression of being a noble. So that's kind of what when you look at a glance through and look at the four of them, that's sort of what you catch most, like pops right out at you. He looks like highborn or something like this. Like the way he's, even though he's injured, horribly injured, there's something about the cut of his jib that you instantly recognize.
His jib, I like that.
Right. Boslan, you kind of, again, sizing up the four of them, recognize that the human that looks like he is catatonic, he reminds you of, you would say, another pit fighter, a mercenary, someone of that like. He looks sort of like there's the scars. You see scars that are fresh, like you can tell he's been tortured, but you also recognize scars that are like the scars of a veteran or something like that. So the scars of someone who's seen combat most of their life. So he gives you the impression of being a mercenary or a gladiator like yourself or something like that. And the others, you pretty much catch more or less the same as the others. You do also notice or hear the dwarf. One of the things that she said is, don't trust her. She's a Black Earth guard. Don't trust her. She's a Black Earth guard. She's one of them. Is what you guys heard. And the owner kind of retorts like, I'm not one of them anymore. They kicked me out. I wouldn't want to be part of them anymore. They're all a bunch of idiots. Thanks for killing that one. Heldorm was a jerk. Turned his torturous ways on me. Let me out so I can spit on his face. She's just like pissed off and angry, and but they're all basically adding. She seems really brutal and angry, and she's sort of spitting venom about the cult right now. So what do you guys want to do?
I want to ask, if no one has any objections, of course, the angry Black Earth Guard lady, what she knows about that guy Marlos, if anything. What do you know about Marlos? Tell us where we can find Marlos. He already ran away from us. Where would he go if he ran away? If he retreated from his chamber, where would he go? That's what I want to fucking know.
Says, sure, I got nothing. I don't care about them anymore, of course. Why wouldn't I tell you? I just want to get out of here. She says, now look, I'm just one of the guards, so they don't let me in everywhere. But I can tell you that if he's not here in his chamber, and he's not with, sorry, I'm looking for a name. Hold that thought. Shit. If he's not with... Damn it.
Lawrence.
That other guy.
Not Lawrence.
Yo.
If he's not with Mirage, then
Poindexter.
if he's not with Mirage and he's not in his chamber, then he probably went down to the Fane of the Eye, I think is what they call it.
Oh, fuck.
Fane of the Eye.
That does not sound good.
Fane of the Eye.
I believe
Okay.
that's what it's called.
Can you take us to the Fane of the Eye?
Give me a sec, I'm trying to find it. Give me a moment.
Does that not involve snake-headed dudes? Fane of the Eye. Let me write that down.
Shit.
What was that guy's name? Not with
Marlos.
Marlos.
Oh, wait a minute. So I think that's what you said.
that's the crazy snake-headed guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And
There was a snake-headed guy.
A Medusa-like guy, yeah.
Which I packed something for his behind this time.
then she says, and if he's not there, he went to the Black Geode to seek guidance from Ogremak.
Who and what is Ogremak?
Ogremak is their lord, their prince. He is... Well, in truth, I have never seen Ogremak. I've only heard tales. They tried to brainwash us. I was a fool to follow them. And she just goes off into some, like, she just starts cursing and rattling off a bunch of her own personal bitches about this person and that person, and none of it makes any sense. And none of it has any bearing on what the information you're trying to get.
All right, so we got Black Geode in the Fane of the Eye. Is that correct?
She said he would have gone to the Fane of the Eye or to the Black Geode to find to seek guidance, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what else?
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure. Baslan, Kyra, do you want to ask any questions of anyone?
I was looking through some pockets of.
The cultists don't have anything.
Well, no, it was just the mage. I figured cultists would never have anything.
Yeah. So Heldorm. Let me check and see Heldorm. So why don't you give me an investigation? You are gonna. I'm assuming you and.
Better than what I
Actually,
just
give it with advantage. I'll assume Farron is gonna give you a hand first, and then he'll work on. If you guys want to, he is happy to open the.
Yeah, that's why I brought him down here. Okay. Let's see. Investigation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 15.
Okay. You find a key in his pocket, and within a few moments you see there is a locked chest in the room, locked wooden chest, and the key fits the chest.
Of course, I'm going that direction.
You find in the chest 230 silver pieces. 230 silver pieces.
Silver peaches.
Yeah, exactly. Sliver pieces, something like that. Yeah, silver pieces. There's a pouch with 6 azurites. You quickly gather to be 10 gold pieces each. So
right.
6 10-piece gold, 6 10 GP gems, and if you want, there are azurites. If you want to write that.
Yep.
You see, you recognize some Earth Guard plate armor, which you pretty much assume to be Orna's, the chick in that first cell. Because right next to it there is some studded leather and a longsword.
I'll take the studded leather and longsword.
Well, it looks like
leave the other stuff.
It looks like it would fit the half elf.
Okay, so all this stuff is like their stuff.
You don't know. You can ask them. The leather appears. In fact, actually, as you pull the leather out of the chest, the half elf says, "Miss, that would be mine."
Oh, and you're paying us for like saving you? Is that what you're saying?
You are absolutely correct, my dear. As soon as you unlock this door, I will be happy to assist you and make arrangements to that end.
Yeah, these arrangements work very well. Right in here. I'm probably not actually going to take it, but I'm trying to kind of.
And then he's like, and any healing would be greatly appreciated, and he kind of sits back down on a bench.
Yeah,
that was as much of a protest as he could muster.
Yeah, Kyra probably wouldn't really like take it. It would be more like she's saying that just to be like, hey, you really should be having say over what's going on here because we're basically opening this door and letting you out and saving your life. So whatever we find should be like fair compensation, but she probably wouldn't keep it. But you said studded leather and
a longsword. They were sort of folded together. So, and as soon as you pull them out, he says those are his.
Are there anything else belonging
yes.
to anybody else?
Oh no, no, but well, not apparently. But there is one other item that you pull out, and it is a wand.
Oh well, yep. Yoink.
And let me see if I might
Taking
even be able
that.
to show you a picture of what that looks like. Let me see.
A wand of turning back from stonage?
Probably not.
Okay.
But it might be something you recognize. So, I would give. You are not trained in Arcana, right?
I don't think I am.
I think Farron is. So
Farron is.
Yeah. So you want to roll an Arcana check for Farron? That would be great.
Yep. I will roll his character.
It sort of has this weird spiral effect of like almost looks like a screw of some sorts. There's something like that. Not really a screw, almost like these little rings around the wand as it points towards the front. And the front has this kind of like, it almost looks like a blue. It looks like a cross between a blue flame and a blue icicle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's rolled so terribly.
Yeah.
So what he just knows is magical. That's it. That's nothing else. It's a wand.
He thinks he recognizes it, but he says he probably needs a few moments to study it a little further.
Like short rest.
It's like
kind of situation.
it's more like he's like it's a like he needs a minute. Like it doesn't come to him right away. But he thinks he recognizes it, but it's not on the tip of his tongue. Just give me a second. I'm sure I'll think of it.
All right.
So that's pretty much what you clean out of the chest.
When he says he's about to kill over, I mean, I'll go over there and give him a little bit of healing just so he doesn't die in front of us. That would be kind of
awesome.
Crazy. So I just kind of shoot it from where I'm standing.
Sure. He says he actually already has sort of started to introduce him. He says, I am Gervor. My family is modestly affluent. We are simple merchants from just the edge of Agick. I do wish to return to our city. I was ambushed actually. Just a month ago, it would seem, if time has not completely lost me, and this fine dwarven lass here is Wolgreda, and Wolgreda says, "I'm older than you are, you fool," and she says, "But he's right. I'm Wolgreda. I'm really a simple dwarf, but I do want to get out. I would be ever so grateful if you let me. But that one," she points back down again to Orna. She says, "Let that one rot." And she spits on the ground.
Why is she in here?
Yeah, she never did answer that question. She just kind of said that she doesn't like him. And they were like kind of traitorous and all that, but she didn't say.
You said
she did.
Let me backtrack for a second. Somebody said when I think Kaylin asked her like, "Where's Marlos? We encountered him once, but he ran away." Right? Said something like that.
Yeah, trying to find information.
Right.
About
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like.
I asked her what she did to get in there earlier.
She says, says, well, she says, I'm standing right here. You can just ask me, and I'll tell you, because I just want to get out, and I'll do whatever I can to get out. I'll give you whatever information I've got. I would lead you to Marlos, but you said he already left his room. She says, all I did was strike one of those prissy Black Earth priests. He was a weakling, and I'm glad I did it. But they said I was being insubordinate, and they threw me in here and let damned Heldorm have his way with me. She rubs her elbow. You can see that you can see they've all been tortured. So, they all look terrible, pretty much weak and so forth. So the half elf, as soon as you cast the heal on Gervor, he's back up to almost probably 100%. He's just a simple noble, so he's just back on his feet, and he's he says, truly, I owe you my life, miss, but I'm really truly sick of this cell. Would you be so kind?
First, I need you to sign this piece of paper saying that you owe your life to us. Yes, thanks. And then, sure, we'll happily let you out. Insurance and all that. I'm kind of smiling. I'm just kidding. Can you open the door?
I'm going to tell these guys I'm going to keep watch outside. I mean, I guess technically Grot's out there, but I will go inform them of what's gone on.
Yeah, okay, so you go...
Sharon's going to roll insight
so they're sort of
just... it to make sure he's just not, he really is a noble like he says he is, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, go for insight, absolutely. And actually, Kyra would essentially recognize him to be... He definitely has the look and air and mannerisms of a noble. It's fairly obvious.
Okay. So he's
was that for you or for that was for Farron?
That was for Farron.
I mean, Farron's kind of he kind of shrugged, he's yeah, he's probably noble. He could care less essentially. But he does set about, and I'm gonna say you guys can find the way to release the doors easily. It's not, the key probably unlocks.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Does he have a key on him?
Sure.
Because I know this opens the thing, but.
So Orna softens a little bit. She's like, you're gonna let me out too, right? You're gonna let me out. Don't let him out. And she points to the dude next to him. She's like, he worked for the Howling Hatred. Those feather brains, they're worthless. Don't let him out.
I thought dwarves were jolly folks. You're getting kind of seemingly racist here.
That was the female.
Okay. I was gonna say, okay.
No, she's a little surly, but you get the sense for her it's more she's either pissed off that she was captured, or she's basically been trying to be helpful in the sense or at least she thinks she is, by warning you about Orna. So Wolgreta is her name, the dwarf's name. She says, Droth is. She kind of looks at me and says, she shakes her head and says, he's not probably long for the world. You might be better off leaving him here. I suppose we could help him out if you want, but I won't leave with her.
So, I guess Kyra would probably like to insight just all the conversations just to see if they're telling the truth, or are they just kind of saying whatever they're trying to say just so they can get out.
Sure.
That would be terrible. So in the meantime, Farron is probably going to unlock the noble door, unless anybody else in the room has a no, don't do that kind of thing.
Colin, are you back? Hello.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Cool. What did you how much did you catch of that?
All of it. I've been back for a while. I'm sorry.
No sweat. Just making sure.
Actually, you're pretty good.
All right.
What's my insight? Yeah, I thought so. 26.
Oh yeah. You can read right through all of them. None of. So you are. You're a noble, and your mother trained you to read people because of you need to be quick to assess certain situations, to maintain your sort of inconspicuous persona, to try to be able to quickly register whether you need to be, how to act. Should you be formal and proper, or should you be more quiet and subdued? So you get a almost instant bead on all three of them. For sure, the elf, the half elf Gervor, he definitely is a noble. You look at his hands look like they've never seen a day of hard work. He may have done jobs, maybe he was a merchant or something. He maybe used his hands for paperwork or something like this, but he's never done any kind of like manual labor without question. Well, Greta, she looks pretty much what you have known dwarven commoners to look like. She's very plain. She has her hair in a plait, although it's kind of tattered and dirty, but she still respects herself enough to try to to do her best to plait it when she can every day. And she just seems as honest as earth. I mean, she seems like she is being completely forthright with you. Orna is possibly the easiest to read because she's sort of all over the place. Like, one second she's like raging and frothing at the mouth, and the next she's putting on sort of a sweet show. She just wants to get out. You can tell she'll do anything to get her freedom. She could care less about this cult. She just wants out. She doesn't. In fact, she doesn't. She even says, "I don't even need help. All I need you to do is open the cage."
I kind of, Kyra,
And Droth is, as far as you can tell, he might be gone to the world. Like, he looks like he might have been tortured beyond redemption.
So even if we tried to heal him, he would still probably be like.
With that insight, you're pretty sure he's not gonna.
Was he
he'll never be
guy with all the scars?
Yes, you're fairly certain he's broken. Like,
all right. Well, Farron's gonna open up all three of those, and then the last one, I think I would turn and ask. Like, I probably would talk to Kaylin and Basilon and just kind of say, we've been killing all of these guys kind of indiscriminately. I mean, are we letting her out? Because she didn't really hurt us, technically.
I've been very discriminating in who I kill. If they were bad, I killed them. I'd say leave her there. If we don't know, because we haven't encountered her before.
I'm not bad. I was tricked. I swear, I was tricked. They tricked me. They convinced me this was right. Take my armor. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be a part of this. All I want to do is go my way. I promise you'll never see me again.
We could always just leave her naked and she could walk. But then, yeah, I have the feeling that letting bad people out to just turn around and see them again on the battlefield doesn't really sit well with me. But I say it's y'all's call. And that's all I say about that. Farron, I think he's gonna. I think Farron would probably say something like, if she's telling the truth, and maybe we just let her go on her way. So, but we're just gonna leave it up to Kaylin.
I would say with his insight roll, he probably doesn't trust her that much.
Okay, but even still, I mean, he's not a.
I know he's not a vindictive person,
right?
So,
and it's like. Yeah. She's defenseless, and we're just gonna leave her there to rot. It's like we're no better than the jailers, and if we just kind of let them rot. So, yeah. So, okay, Basilon's more like, what? Leave her there, right? Kaylin, what did you say? Or you didn't say anything yet, actually.
I don't care about letting them out.
Meaning,
I just look at her and kind of shrug my shoulders.
Or you don't want to let them out?
I'm fine with letting them out.
All of them.
All of them. Just let them run free. Who gives a fuck?
I kind of feel like let her run around naked. That's been my mantra. Like, I have nothing on. If you're gonna release her, but like not give her any. I mean, I'm not saying armor to the teeth, but I mean, you might as well just like kill her at that rate because she's. I mean, she's gonna die anyways. Yeah.
I mean, I like where you're going with it, but I mean, is she stealthy? I mean, maybe if she's a thief and she can sneak her way out, otherwise, forget it. You might as well just
you're
right here.
sure, sure. But then again, I mean, we're not going to give her any weapons either. I mean, she can. I guess if she, okay, I guess since her armor's in there, she could technically at least put it on there and fake her way out, and maybe not give her a weapon. No.
Yeah, I mean I don't care. I'm fine with just letting them out and release
They
them out.
they all essentially they all say they want to go their own way. They're happy to go their own way.
This chick in there here might just kill her if we let them out at the same time. You know.
I leave her in there.
All right.
Gervor he says, I would appreciate my armor and sword so that I might have a better chance to return to my family safely, and I'm happy to take Wolgreta here with me, be she willing, and I might even be able to find some help for Droth. And I swear to you on my honor and on my name, if you return to Agick and seek me out, I shall reward you.
What's your name again?
His name is Gervor. I don't have a family name for him, so if you want me to, I will come up with one. Otherwise, you can just use Gervor.
Nope, Gervor's fine.
Gervor Smith.
Yeah. So
Chang.
He basically says,
Go.
sort of
Gervor, go.
for the sake of time, Orna says she'll go her own way. You don't have to help her. You don't have to do anything other than open the cage so she can get out. She will never be a problem for any of you. And
Well, the last three are already, they've been out.
right,
for a while.
they're just thanking you.
I give the noble guy his stuff.
Okay, so the long
And
sword. And
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm Kyra, and
Mm-hmm.
if we see you and you act like you don't recognize us, there will be problems. That's all I say.
And he looks at Kaylin and kind of sort of gives you a knowing nod as well. You gather that he recognizes your, noble
I give him
bearing.
a little nod.
He says, as adventurers go, I must say you are noble, forthright, and I am thrilled at your success.
Oh yes, I am very much noble.
And then, Greta is just, she's again,
I don't say that, but I'm
she's
thinking it.
pretty, one of the things she says that, through the conversation that sort of happens at, throughout this point is that she mentioned that she was captured while she was prospecting the hills near the Sacred Stone Monastery, which is just how you came into here. So she's sort of happy to go back her way and thinks that going with Gervor, back to Agick makes the most sense because they can sort of help each other. They asked that you might show them a safe way out, and just for
could do that.
Sort of above the table. This to me is a perfect opportunity to take Gitgrot out of the action. I think maybe Gitgrot takes the three of them and the Smurfneblin, however, I can't say it right now, and gets them, quote unquote, to safety, and Orna, she'll just go her own way. She doesn't even, she almost like it. Yeah, she's still like looking. She's been quiet, like waiting to see if you're gonna open the cage.
Yeah, I think probably what will happen is let all three of them walk out before we even consider opening the last one.
All right, so let's say that's what happens. The three of them, so basically Gitgrot maybe, or even Glitter and between Glitter, Rolgreta, and Gervor, the three of them as well as Gitgrot can definitely sort of Droth is catatonic, but he'll shuffle. He'll shuffle around. Like if you like say, if you get him to stand up, like draw, stand up or whatever, he'll stand up and you can like push him or something, and he'll kind of shuffle along. So you think they can manage?
So terrible.
Yeah, I know, it sucks. That's what torture does. So we're gonna say that's what happens. The three of them and Gikrot. In fact, Gikrot knows the way to go safely, so he just he shakes hands with you and says, "I'll get them to safety, and I'll come back and find you as soon as I can.
Okay.
Don't go dying on me down here. There's far too many good times to be had."
I'd say, well, thanks for coming. I'm gonna find my sister. If you run into my mother, tell her that. Which I'm pretty sure he won't, because she's like way far away.
And he kind of, do you want me to try to get word to your mother?
I'd send her a letter.
He can do that. He'll agree to that. He says, "Of course, as soon as I get to the city, I will."
And that other thing on there, I'm gonna do that as well.
The other thing on there, oh my god, it's been ages since I read it, so I'm not sure.
But I say that out loud, though. Yeah.
We can talk. Whoa, Kaylin, you have like 5 million health right now.
What?
428 health.
Yeah, this big long red bar like across the screen.
Is that supposed to be 42 or?
Yeah, it's fucked up with my mouse.
It's all good.
There
you go.
Red
So
Bull
I
gives you
guess
wings.
You're set.
after he goes out, Farron will open that, and I don't give
Now it's
I don't give
429.
the chickie back her weapon,
Yeah.
but she can have all her stone armor.
All right.
So she'll just
yeah.
like
Her
blend in.
Yeah, her weapon
And-
wasn't in there, but if you'll let her take her armor back, she
I
actually doesn't take it. She's like, that's how basically pissed off she is at this
okay.
group.
Well, then that's enough for me, because then I'm like, all right, well then that means that we're probably not going to see her again.
Yeah, in fact, she says, she looks at you and says, "Shall I go first, or do you want me to give you a head start?"
We don't really like having, to our back people we can't see. No
As
offense.
you don't even finish the sentence, and she like nods and walks out the door and turns on her heel, and she says, she bows a little bit, and this is like the most serious you've seen her. She says, "Truly, thank you," and then she leaves.
I'd be like, yeah, that guy right there, you might want to be nice to him on your way.
All right, sweet, cool. So Farron at this point has fiddled with the wand a bit, and he's like, "Hoo-hoo! This is Wand of Magic Missile."
Oh, yeah, prying that from his hands is not happening. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just take it out of group loot.
He's like,
and put it in his bag.
I could use this. He's like, no one else wants this, right?
Yeah. That's
yeah, that's a score for him for sure.
Yeah, that's just done. I'm not even gonna put it in there.
Right on. Might as well just add it to his sheet.
That's what I'm doing.
Awesome. Yeah, and he'll be able to determine it's fully charged. So,
yeah,
isn't that nice? And I'll now, since we have,
that.
let me see here. I can get that again. Where's that image? I will show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Oh wait, I don't have my. Shoot, I don't have my damn monitor up. Well, anyway, I'll show you a picture of it some other time. Anyway, so he's got that in his kit right now. And at that point, you kind of, I think you're drawn back to the sound of the anvil again. There's the like ting, ta-ting, ting, ting.
Which direction is that coming from? Is that from the left here, or no? It was coming down the canyon, right? Or the
So
crevice?
essentially, it's the
It's that
two
room.
passages to the north.
Yeah. It's a blacksmith.
Yeah, it's the
Is the north
passages
up,
up
or is this north?
No. So it's the door here, and you heard
That's
it.
right. It's in there.
Actually, you can hear it coming. It does sound like it's coming from down that path. It's kind of weird. There's this weird echoey sound. It almost sounds like it's coming from every direction at once. And you gather that it's like something about these because Farron mentioned that he thought he saw another what do I call it? Canyon, not canyon. Chasm. Sorry, another chasm. And you almost gather. Kyra saw that there's like chasm to the down this hall. She could see it, and could also see it up farther to the north. So you sort of have put together that it looks like it's a long chasm, possibly going roughly from the northwest to the southeast.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that. So right now I'm just hanging outside the door, sort of keeping watch in case anyone comes through while they're busy interrogating and killing prisoners or whatever's going on in there.
Searching the room, we really didn't find anything of use other than just creepy torture devices.
Well, I mean, there are torture devices and stuff like that. I would say that Greta probably grabbed some kind of a blade or something like that to sort of arm herself with. Probably Glitter would have wanted to grab a hammer if there was a hammer in there, just because she feels more comfortable with a hammer or pick.
And would she have given me back my dagger?
Yeah, if you wanted it, she would. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because yeah, I'll take it back.
Okay.
If she does, because it was just basically there until she didn't want it anymore, and she's like, "Yeah, I'd rather that." I'd be like, "Oh no."
There are iron. Sorry, not iron. Are they iron? I don't know. There's hooks, there's blades, there's clamps, there's manacles. So if you want to grab any of that kind of stuff, it's all gnarly looking, and a lot of it is blood stained and creepy as hell. We lost Colin.
I would say that Farron would wash off like maybe 2 manacles, like kind of prestidigitation them so they're not all gross with blood and stuff, just for the future if we need to
Okay. Manacles, right? You said
Yeah.
manacles? Okay, sure.
So just like 2 pair. I'll put that in a group.
All right.
That's all we can fit. Let me see. Oh no, we have. That's right. I got rid of some stuff. So there's some room left. All right, manacles. Yeah, I think we just all kind of follow Basilon. He seems like he's done this before. At least in Kyra's mind, that's what she's thinking.
You guys have never gone through a dungeon and killed stuff that you came across.
No, it's more like, it's not like that. It's more like sense of direction. That's what it is. At least for Kyra.
I sense screaming coming this direction. Let's go that way. I now sense banging coming this direction. I'm going to go this way. If you think about it later, you're going to realize where my sense of direction comes from.
Okay, but that's literally what she's thinking. I think I'm not so good with directions. I can see pretty far, but that's about it.
Okay. So I'm going to listen at the door. I don't know if that is a completely hopeless activity, if I'm going to hear anything other than like ding, ding, ding.
Sure. Give me a perception check. Yeah, that's pretty much all you can hear. It's not like constant, but you
I don't hear anything else beyond that.
Recognize that it sounds like a forge.
Okay. So I tell the others, I'm like, obviously there's a blacksmith or something in here. It looks like there's a second door. Do we want to open both doors, or do we want to just coming through the one, or maybe we see if we can sneak over to the canyon and get a glimpse in the far side of the room. Because we hear echoes coming from the right, don't we?
You do. It almost sounds louder coming from the east. It's like because it's kind of sounds like it's echoing out that way.
I'm gonna recommend we do that and just see if the others are willing to follow. Anyone?
Yep, whatever.
Well, it's
I'm
right now. It's so we lost Colin. So I don't know if his internet went down or what. It's a little early.
I had a power surge today that knocked out all of my power, so I wouldn't be surprised if something like that might have happened.
Yeah.
Not that his and mine, but
I'm thinking that maybe I know it's a little early and we didn't get all that much game tonight, but I feel like this is a really good place to call it. We can scout around a little. It's up to you guys. I'll leave it up to you.
I'd like to be honest. I'd like to at least scout around a bit, just so that we know what we're kind of, and then we could be like, yeah, we're gonna pick option A.
Yeah. So
why don't we get up to our next fight, but not into it?
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Let's call it an encounter. It doesn't have to be a fight.
But it should be. So no, okay.
We're gonna try to kill everything. We're gonna kill everything now.
Well, you can certainly try. Doesn't mean you'll be able to, but
true.
So anyway, I'm gonna.
He agrees. That's a great. That sounds like a great idea, Boslan.
Yeah, I'm gonna peek down this corridor.
Okay, so that's to the south.
Yeah.
So
before you just go walking across.
You look.
Clank, clank, lump, lump.
Yeah. Just a moment. Let me open it up for you. You look down there and you see what appears to be about a 60-foot corridor that ends with a door.
Yeah. And I kind of say, yeah, I told you, I told you all about that. And this is just a long way. It's like there's a place to go down, like a pathway, sort of. Okay. And I didn't go down there because I didn't want to go without everybody.
You saw that passage, but you didn't go look down it, so...
Right, so I don't know what's over there.
Okay, so...
I didn't want to go without y'all.
No sweat. When you get to there... Yeah, hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. You're getting ahead of me. So this... Let me open up. I mean, Kyra can see quite a bit, so it's... Let me see what you can see what you see.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
You can see like way the heck over here. Sort of like something like this. So, and from there, yeah, that's about sort of kind of what you can see. Let me scooch us over here. Zoom out a tiny bit. So, Kyra, you sort of, because you have the best vision, you can sort of describe to the others what you can see. This long
that
chasm,
makes sense now. It's a passage. That's like a kind of like a bridge.
Exactly. Sort of? So this long chasm stretches, as I said, northwest to southeast. A 5-foot wide ledge clings to one wall and then forms a narrow stone bridge that spans the chasm and connects to a smaller ledge that runs along the opposite wall. And you're on the side that's more of the slightly larger ledge. You can see on the opposite wall it's just slightly thinner. So whereas it's maybe 5 feet on this side, 4 feet on the opposite, it looks like 2 feet, maybe 3 feet at the widest.
All right, I want to stealth, and then I want to look up since
all right,
like we're all here. So I'm like, all right, well then let's go.
So let's say you make a stealth roll right now. Just some. So that this chasm is a little deeper than the others you've seen. This one seems to go. You'd guess it goes more like 100 feet down, whereas the other one it was closer to like 50 feet down. So this is a little bit of a deeper chasm.
Ooh, my stealth roll wasn't that great. Baron's was. It was a 23. Mine is not that great at all.
I guess I need to roll for.
I'm jolly.
Okay.
I think I'm so stealth. I'm just awesome. That's how bad I rolled.
Keelan.
I just want to see if I would have used a computer, how if it would have got better or not. Yeah, no. That's funny.
So
I just wanted to see. No, I rolled a 5.
so Kaylin is somewhat stealthy. And,
do I need to stealth too?
yeah, sure. Well, yeah. Everybody says, "Let's be quiet," and they're like, "Quiet."
Yeah. Kyra's like, let's be quiet.
Yeah, you're not exactly the quietest. Oh, you have disadvantage, huh? Yeah, so your armor. So yeah, you're like clunk, clunk.
You're
you guys want to be
still
quiet?
quieter
Clunk,
than me.
clunk, clunk. A
You're
6?
still
Why
quieter
did
than me.
Oh, Kyra got 5? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right,
Kyra
so we're gonna. No, here's what happens: is
Karen
you
got
guys,
23.
you guys, you stop. Kyra stops and is about to say, "Let's be quiet," and Bossalon just like plunks right into your back, and you're like clang. You know, so there's like his clanging armor, and you kind of like oof or whatever something. You like bump
My
into yourself.
toe! Stop
Or there's-
stepping on my toe! Yelling.
There's like the Lord of the Rings skeleton with the suit of armor on the edge of the well with the
Basically.
arrow, and I pulled the arrow.
Essentially, yeah. So, yeah. So you guys are looking down. You kind of can't. It's hard to. I guess maybe you might be able to peek out a bit. Give me perception checks. See how much you all pick
At
up.
least I'm good at that. I'm not good at anything. At least I'm good at perception checks. Yep, that I am.
I was apparently good at killing stuff. I'm going to stick to that.
Just yeah. I can see them, and you just can.
That was okay. Just point me at something to stab. I'm good at that. This is just we realize exactly how badly we failed that perception check.
I know, it's right.
It's like, wow, we can hear echoes of our own crashes coming off the far walls.
Oh, Farron got a 24. Nice.
Nice. So yeah, so Farron is able to, using his skill as a thief, rogue. He's able to sneak up and sort of out and around the corner to get a little bit of a better look.
Yeah, he probably would be doing that anyways.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. So he sees that there is apparently a room that this forge seems to open up into the chasm. He can see a glow from what he believes to be the forge. You can all hear that the ringing is really loud right where you're standing.
What is this way? Since I'm kind of around, I can see now.
Sorry, what's that way? Oh, you want to scooch down there?
Yeah, I probably would stay about 20 feet away from him, but I would. So what is that? 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I'd say about 20 feet away, and then I would look.
Okay.
Since I can see the farthest.
All right, I need to check something, so bear with me.
Don't go so far there. Yeah, I'm sure I'm pretty quiet. Clunk a clunk a clunk. It's kind of hard to do average when there's only 4 people.
Unbelievable. Okay. All right. So Farron is quiet enough that he can see, and he sees like 60 feet. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. He can kind of see like something like this. Give me perception. What was? Oh no, Farron. What was that? 24
Farron's
was
was
Farron's
24.
perception. What was his stealth?
23.
His stealth was 23. Okay. All right. So he sees. I don't have the. Forgive me for not having the what do you call it? Dynamic lighting. But he basically sees that there's a sort of a biggish room that is split by. It's split by the chasm, but has essentially the these like large stone columns. He can't see the far wall.
Then he would probably come out a bit. Since we're
You can see
looking.
the far wall though, so I should get. Okay, so essentially, you can sort of figure out that the room is like this. He's gonna come out there, huh?
Yeah, he is. He's gonna, because
Alright.
I wouldn't, because I'm not a rogue, but he is, because he's gonna try to sneak around.
All right, so he hears something. Then he hears another something.
Oh, that's not good. Do they sound pleasant? Question, Gregory. I can
Yeah.
see this way.
Yeah.
So what's that way?
It just the crack. Hold on. All right, let me do that first because that's easy to show you. So essentially, the chasm splits this room, and then dead ends.
Ah,
Okay.
gotcha.
So let me just show.
Yeah, he'll come out to there. I mean, he would have looked before he walked out. I mean, he's not stupid, but
Well, yeah, no,
he
I
would've
know. In
walked
his
out.
perception, it's a. So he hears something and something I think he hears. Well, at that point, he can basically see it, so there's really no other way around it. He hears. I don't know how they sound when they do, but he hears. He hears something.
Oh no!
Essentially sleeping.
Oh, jeez, he's gonna like, he will gingerly walk back. Yeah, nope. Nope.
Since you're in the room anyway, let me just give you the description. So some long ago, a seismic event devastated this great hall. A deep chasm splits the chamber in two, leaving a wide gap between the room's northern and southern halves. Freestanding pillars of rock to the east create natural stepping stones across the chasm. The chasm continues beyond the west wall, and a narrow ledge hugs the south wall of the expanse. That's where you're standing. 6 huge stone pillars still stand in this chamber, and the ceiling here is almost 50 feet high. Each of the pillars anchors heavy iron chains with links as big as a warrior's hand, and 2 of those chains are currently occupied.
Lovely. Yep. He's gonna gingerly walk back. Ever so quietly.
Yeah. I have to check
Okay.
something because they might not be sleeping. They might just be resting. But they have. Okay, so don't move, Kyra. I have to measure. Sorry.
All right, no problem. Let me put Farron back. He was here.
Oh.
Yeah, he was here. So.
Yeah. So the one that is right next to him stirs because he sensed you. Farron, it doesn't know that Farron's there, but you got a little bit too close, and it has tremor sense. It feels your footsteps and starts.
Oh,
It
no.
starts like, I don't know, what does a belay sound
He's
like?
gonna fall off.
It's like
Okay, you better
it starts
fall
like
off
snuffling,
side of the thing.
ruffling, and
I'm gonna stay here.
so yeah,
I'm being sort of piggish.
that's what I feel like. And you know, basically, it moves up this way, and that's where we're gonna stop for tonight. We're gonna say Farron is face to face with a belay. It hasn't noticed Farron because he was light enough of foot, but it's kind of like snuffling around and starting to turn its
Yeah,
way
I
around.
was pretty loud
Starting to turn its way around that pillar.
because I wanted to like inch a little bit just so I could kind of see around a bit this wall. And it's like, oh crap!
Yeah.
But I don't know it's there because I can't see. I don't think I can see there. Yeah, nope, I can't see him.
That's all right.
So yeah, that's okay. Farron can get out of
And
there.
that's a
He can
pretty
yep.
perfect place for us to stop for tonight. Face to
Here's
face
hoping
with
he-
another belay.
Here's hoping he falls down the chasm. You're too fat. You're gonna fall down the chasm. Yeah,
Right.
that's literally what I'm gonna be saying.
That's right.
I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm gonna channel that to him. Fall.
We'll see what happens
Oh.
next time. So stay tuned for another adventure in the Kingdom of Agick. We will return in a week with another fantastic session. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you at a table someday, and keep rolling 20s.